Okay, not really feeling the bat. He's just batty. I don't know what we're going to call him. We're going to call him Meatloaf and ask your parents why that would be. They might understand. Here we go. Extended distribution. We're going to take, it's just like FOIL, but we're doing it a whole bunch of times. So we're going to take this 3G and we're going to multiply it. See the arrow? We're going to multiply it times 2G squared. Then we're going to take that 3G and we're going to multiply it times 4G. Then we're going to take that 3G and we're going to multiply it all the way over here times negative 4. Now I sure wish I had started farther to the left because I'm running out of room. Because now, but let's go ahead and do that. So that's going to be 6G cubed plus 12G squared minus 12G. Okay, this bat's kind of in my way, but we're going to make it work. Now we're going to take this negative 3. Negative 3 times 2G squared is negative 6G squared, so I can just put it right there underneath it. Negative 3 times 4 is negative 12G, and negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12. So what I'm going to have now when I add it up is 6G to the third. 12 minus 6 is a positive 6. That's the G squared. Negative 12 minus 12 is negative 24G. And then there's that plus 12 sitting on the end. Okay, that was kind of messy. That was a little bit squishy. But do you see how it's just FOIL again? We just take this 3G, multiply, multiply, multiply. Negative 3, multiply, multiply, multiply. And we just add the columns up. So let's try this one. We're going to take 8x times 2x squared. 8 times 2, look, I'm starting way to the left, is 16. X times x squared, that gives me 3 of those x's, so that's x cubed. I'm going to take 8x times negative 6x. 8 times negative 6 is negative 48. 1x and another x is x squared. I'm going to take that 8x all the way over here times negative 3. 8 times negative 3 is negative 24, and I just have the 1x. Now, I got to be careful. I'm going to take a negative 5 times 2x squared. That goes in the x squared column, so it's negative 10x squared. I'm going to take negative 5 times negative 6, which is a positive 30, and there's just 1x. And I'm going to take negative 5 times negative 3, and that's a positive 15. Most of the time, they're going to just kind of match up. You're going to leave this first row right here blank, and then it'll just match up underneath it. Every now and then that won't work, but for the most part, that's going to work really well for us. So we've got 16x cubed. Negative 48 minus 10 is minus 58x squared. A negative 24 plus 30 is a positive 6, and that's my x's, plus 15. Remember, when I'm multiplying 8x times 2x squared, the 8 times 2 I multiply, that's where I got the 16, and the x times x squared, I add the exponents. So it's kind of how many x's at this side of the arrow and how many x's at that side of the arrow, and we put them together. All right, here's another one. We're going to start with this negative 5x, and we're going to take it times 7x. Oh, look at that guy. He's got like a red head. He looks like a fox bat. So negative 5 times 7 is negative 35. I've got 1x here and 1x here, so that's 2 x's. I'm going to take negative 5 times 11. That's negative 55. I've got 1x here and 2 x's here, so that's 3. I'm going to take negative 5 times negative 3. That's a positive 15. I have 1x here, and that's it. Now, these are all kinds of messed up. They're not in standard form. So when we do this next part, we're going to have to match them up. I've got a positive 1 times 7 with 1x. So I'm going to put the plus 7x to the first right there. 1 times 11 is 11, and I just have these x squared, so that's over here. It's a positive 11x squared. And then 1 times negative 3, that doesn't have any x's, so I'm just going to stick it on the end there, okay? Negative 35 plus 11 is negative 25x squared. This is the only thing in that column, so it's negative 55x cubed. 15 plus 7 is positive 22x to the first, and then there's a minus 3. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. This is not in standard form. So we need to rewrite it. Remember standard form? The one with the biggest exponent comes first. So we're going to rewrite it, negative 55x to the third. Then there's the negative 25x squared. Then there's the positive 22x, and at the end is the minus 3. So sometimes, if you notice this one right here, that was not in standard form, so that's what messed us up. Gosh, that wasn't very nice. Okay, oh, look at this guy. He looks like he's on stilts. Okay, I got a phone call, so I don't know what happened. Let's start again. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to take this 2k cubed and multiply it all the way over here times 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. This is the only thing with a k, so it's k cubed. Now we're going to take it all the way over here and multiply it. Remember, there's a 1 there, times negative 1k squared. So 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. I have 3 k's here, 2 k's here, for a total of 5 k's. Now I'm going to take this negative 9k squared. I'm going to multiply it over here. Negative 9 times 2 is negative 18, and it's k squared, so I'm just going to put it right behind it because it doesn't match up with anything else. Then I've got negative 9k squared times negative 1. Negative 9 times negative 1 is positive 9. I've got 2 plus 2 more, 4k's, so I'm just going to put it in the back because it doesn't match with anything. Oh my gosh! Now look at this negative 11k. I'm going to take it times 2. That's negative 22. There's just one k. Nope, I don't have any of those, so I'm going to put it right here, negative 22k. Then I'm going to take negative 11 times negative 1, which is positive 11, 1k and 2 more k's, that's 3 k's. So I'm going to put it over here with the k to the third. So I'm going to be really tricky. I got to put it in standard form, right? So negative 2k to the fifth would come first. After 5 comes 4, don't have any. Here's a bunch of k cubes, so that's plus 15k to the third. Did I mess up here, guys? I did. Look it. I think I said 4 and I wrote 2. Let me put a 4 there. I messed up. Erase, 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 erase. Sorry. So we have negative 2k to the fifth right there. There's our k to the thirds, but we don't want those. We got this plus 9k to the fourth. Oh my gosh, I should redo this slide, but I don't know how to do that. Then we're going to put the 4 and the 11, because that's our k to the thirds, plus 15k to the thirds. Then we have k to the second, so it's minus 18k to the second, and tagging along at the end is minus 22k. So here's our secret word, hot mess. Not only am I a member of the ID10T Club, but I am a hot mess. Here we go, next slide. Oh, he's kind of creepy. Checkpoint 1. Okay, so make those arrows, guys. Multiply, multiply, multiply. Multiply, multiply, multiply. Match things up with their little friends. This one, multiply, multiply. Multiply, multiply. Multiply, multiply. Match them up and then put them in standard form. Look at him. He's got faith. You can do it. That's what he's saying. You can do it. Okay, pause. I'm going to the next slide. Product of a sum and difference pattern. So we're just going to do, oh, look at him. Look at those wings. That's so funny looking. We're going to take, same thing, first times first. That's x squared, right? Then we're going to take this times an x times negative 4. That's negative 4 with an x. Then we're going to take these two right here. A positive 4 times x, that's a positive 4x. Then we're going to take a positive 4 times a negative 4. That's negative 16. Oh, looky, looky. Those cancel. We have x squared minus 16. This is a very special one. This is, these two guys, look at them, x plus 4, x minus 4. The x is the same in both of them. The 4 is the same in both of them, but one of them is a plus and one of them is a minus. When you have that, those two middle terms will always cancel out. So remember how we said first, well, that's not right. First, outside, inside, last, and we called it FOIL. Well, when you have this special pattern, the OI cancels out, so you only have to FLA. Now, what happens if you don't see the pattern? Then just do it. They'll cancel. You'll get it right. Okay, so we're going to try that. Now, if you don't see the pattern, W times W is W squared. W times 7 is positive 7W. -7, take that negative, times W, goes in the W column, -7W. -7 times 7 is positive 49. Oh, looky, looky. Those cancel. So we have W squared plus 49. I like this guy. He's very elegant. He kind of looks like he's wrapped up in a blanket, though, doesn't he? We shall call him Bingo the Blanket Bat. Bingo the Blanket Bat. Write that name down. All right, next slide. We're going to take 3x times 3x. The 3 times 3 is 9. 1x here, 1x here, x squared. We're going to take 3x times -6. That's -18 with just the 1x here. Then we're going to go here. +6 times 3, that's a +18 with 1x. +6 times -6 is -36. Looky, looky, they cancel. 9x squared minus 36. Remember, same term in front, same term in the back. One's a plus, one's a minus. You really only have to do these two and these two. You really only have to flow. Oh my goodness, find the area of the shaded region. Well, the shaded region is a triangle, right? And the formula for the area of a triangle is 1/2 times the base times the height. This is the base right here. The base then, so I'm going to fill in 1/2. The base is 2x minus 3. The height is a perpendicular, which means it makes a 90-degree angle going up the side right here. And here's what's neato. That's not, we don't know what that is, but it's the exact same as this measurement, right? So we've got 4x plus 1. So I'm going to leave the 1/2 alone for a minute, and I'm going to FOIL. That's going to be 8x squared. That's going to be plus 2x. Oh, I wrote way too big. That's going to be minus 12x minus 3. So I have 1/2 times 8x squared minus 10x minus 3. That's the area of the triangle. Now I'm going to do the area of the entire rectangle. The entire rectangle is base times height. The base is this whole thing. So the base is 5x plus 2x minus 3. So that's a total of 7x minus 3 times, here's our height again, 4x plus 1. So we get 28x squared plus 7x minus 12x minus 3. So 28x squared minus 5x minus 3. This is going to probably be one you're going to have to talk about in class. This is pretty deep for a slide here. So that is the area of this whole thing. If I want just the shaded area, I need to take away this area of the triangle. So I'm going to take the area, I should write this in blue, the area of the rectangle minus the area of the triangle. So the rectangle is 28x squared minus 5x minus 3. The triangle, I got to take 1/2, that was supposed to change to green. Oh, I'm so bad at this. 1/2 times 8x, so I'm going to put a minus. That's going to be 4x squared. I'm going to take 1/2 times -10. That's going to be minus 5x. I'm going to take 1/2 times -3. That's -3/2. We'll fix that in a minute, okay? So remember what happens with that negative. It's a -1. So when I distribute, that's -4x squared. So it goes over here. When I distribute the -1 times 5x, that's a positive 5x. So it goes here. When I distribute -1 times -3/2, that's a positive 3/2, which is actually 1.5. You could do that with your calculator. So those cancel. And my final answer is going to be 24x squared, cancel, cancel. And I've got -3 plus 1.5, and that's minus 1.5. That's your actual area of just this shaded region right here. Okay, This would be one where I would say, ask your teacher to go over this one. That one's kind of cray-cray. Whoo, that's a crazy looking bat. He's going, wah! Tough problem, guys. I'm going to go with the next slide is checkpoint 2. And all you're going to do is multiply, 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 multiply. Make sure to line up your terms and write it in standard form. Okay? Hey, I'm feeling pretty batty. Have fun.